Hi and welcome to another gaming video on my gaming section of my YouTube channel. And today's video is a bit of a response to, well, someone else's video actually. Somebody sent me a link to a video by a gentleman called Kevin Kenson. And he's talking there about how important the DS and the 3DS range is and why it could get lost. The fact that both the systems, the whole DS range has dual screens makes it very difficult to port those games to other consoles. I like a lot of retro games, and games from sort of 8-bit era, 16-bit era, even 32-bit era can be ported to newer consoles, or they can be emulated very easily on a variety of systems. But with the DS, the fact that they've got dual screens makes it very difficult. There are a lot of games that heavily rely on the bottom screen for, I don't know, maps or weapon select or movement. And moving that over to a system with only a single screen, that makes it very difficult. I've tried emulating the DS on my laptop. As far as performance goes, it's very easy, it works very well, but I've only played games that don't rely on you to touch the bottom screen. So things like Mario Kart DS, they can be emulated very easily on my laptop, and the bottom screen is generally just for sort of maps and guidance. But there are a lot of games, like I would say GTA Chinatown Wars, which heavily relies on you using your stylus in the bottom screen, that couldn't be ported over without losing some features or making it very difficult to play. How do you move something that's top and bottom screen independent, and you use both of them, onto a console that only has one screen and buttons? And that is a very good point. And in his video, Kevin Kenson makes a good point that the DS and the DS range and the 3DS, etc., could get lost once we start moving away from them. I mean, Nintendo don't really care about the 3DS and the DS anymore. The DS is almost 20 years old and the 3DS is over 10 years old. They've moved over to the Switch. They don't seem to be interested in a dual screen portable anymore. So what's going to happen when the DS consoles die off? Like I said, previous consoles, that's easy, they can be emulated and those games can carry on for generations, either officially or on sort of on the Switch as part of the Virtual Console, or on the PlayStation you get things like the Mega Drive collection. So that brings those games forward and carries on. People can carry on playing them, but that's not going to happen with the DS. The DS is going to get lost in some sort of a gaming graveyard. I am a huge fan of the DS and the DS range. I love my DS Lite and I love my 3DS, but I can see his point. We are going to lose thousands of games, quality games, because there's no way of transporting them and moving them onto newer hardware in the future, unless Nintendo decide to bring out another portable dual screen handheld which can take the older games. So with the 3DS, the DS range wasn't lost because you can play all the DS games on a 3DS. But what's going to happen when the 3DS is no more? If Nintendo don't bring out a new console that's backward compatible, the whole 20 years of the DS is going to be wiped out with no way of bringing it forward. So it's a very good point. Thank you to the viewer that sent in the link, and thank you to Kevin Kenson for the video. I really haven't added much to it, just reiterated what he has said, and I fully agree. Yes, that's a big problem for the future for anyone who is a big fan of the DS or the 3DS. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, enjoy.